The next video, I'm not gonna lie, this video crazy. The video is from EWU Unresolved. YouTuber pro promises viewer to find a mysterious cave, then vanishes. That's literally the title of the video. Spooky.
I didn't have a sidearm when I was here before.
So this is the missing person. I ain't gonna lie, I get spooky about a minute, man.
And something about that cave just spooked me. Out of all the caves I've ever gone in, this one just made my body vibrate. The closer I got to it, the crazier my body felt. And I was like, all right, I'm not gonna go in there right now, but I'm coming back someday. This is kind of iffy. I'm gonna step on this thing. It's very old, but I'll just show you down inside that hole. It goes way, way, way down in there. Let me see if I can. That goes way down in there. If you fell, that'd be it. You'd be a goner.
You know, at some point, it's not black people that are wrong when they say this is some white people. Because come on. I don't think this makes any sense. Why would you want to go in there? Come on. Come on. Nah, come on, man.
There's lots of little caves, but they're not the kind of cave I'm looking for. The kind of cave I'm looking for is deep and it's dark. It's shaped just like the letter M. Very, 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 very few people come down here. I always make it back. I've been doing it since I was in my 20s.
The mystery of what exactly happened to Kenny Veach is one that remains to this day. It all started with a comment on YouTube and ended with his mysterious and unexplained disappearance. The nature of his case has led to countless theories, some more outlandish than others. But one main question remains: did Kenny Veach go missing, or is this all an elaborate cover-up? An EWU exclusive interview sheds new light on this confounding case. It all began with a comment in June 2014 on a since-deleted YouTube video titled "Son of an Area 51 Technician." The comment, posted by user Snakebit McGee, alluded to the existence of a cave shaped like a perfect capital M. Snakebit McGee claimed he discovered the cave while on a hike in the Mojave Desert, near Nellis Air Force Base and Area 51. The user described feeling a vibrating sensation while entering the cave, calling it one of the strangest things that ever happened to me. Snakebit McGee's real name was Kenny Lee Veach. The 47-year-old was a hiker and outdoorsman who boasted an impressive record of difficult hikes around Nevada and California. He also occasionally posted on his own YouTube channel.
Hi, my name is Kenny.
In his comment on the Son of an Area 51 Technician video, Kenny wrote, "I found a hidden cave. I always enter every cave I find, but as I began to enter this particular cave, my whole body began to vibrate. The closer I got to the cave entrance, the worse the vibrating became. Suddenly, I became very scared and hightailed it out of there." Little did Kenny know, this one comment would not only change the course of his life, but create a legacy lasting to this day. His intriguing comment took off like wildfire, spawning near viral interest in what he'd termed the M Cave, as well as the user Snakebit McGee himself. Although not a frequent uploader on YouTube, Kenny often commented on other wildlife and hiking accounts about his endeavors. He claimed that he had years of high-level hiking and spelunking under his belt, and often hiked solo. He did eventually end up making a hiking video of his own.
I like going up and stuff like that because that's where I find my skulls, off the beaten path. Not that this is a beaten path. Very, 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 very few people come down here.
In comments on other videos, though, Kenny often embellished his accomplishments. He once wrote, "I've been doing this sort of thing for over 20 years. I go where no one goes, and I never take anyone with me. I hike over mountaintop after mountaintop."
And there's some shit like that. You come on. Whoa. Damn. I get going somewhere you're not supposed to go. Alone is crazy. With the team, yeah, that makes sense. A whole research team, y'all got a whole base down there. Y'all doing some research. Nah, that's cool, man. Y'all do your thing, man. But this is next level. Next level. I don't know what. That's crazy though.
And sleep on peaks under the stars. Sometimes I have to scale giant cliffs to get myself out of a jam. I'm beat up and tired, and my pack is almost always heavier than when I left. I had to be rescued only one time by a helicopter. I'd blown out my left leg at the top of the mountain, and I only had a cup of water left to get me 20 miles back to my truck. It was also over 100 degrees out, so I have a very good safety record.
I'll put a pack on and hike up to 15 to 20 miles just to get to the mountain, and then I'll climb all the way to the top of the mountain. No matter how I got to get there, I climb and climb and climb, and when I get to the top, I spend the night, no matter how many times I feel like spending the night, however long my water supply lasts, and I come back down the mountain a different way, like sometimes down ravines and cliffs, and I always make it back. I've been doing it since I was in my 20s.
But as fate would have it, Kenny didn't always make it back, and the mysterious M Cave would prove to be a catalyst in his story. Based on his comments, it was clear that Kenny lived for the thrill of adventure. Because of this, many on YouTube were intrigued by the idea that a cave would cause him to feel such a sense of crippling dread that he left it unexplored. Immediately, the M Cave captured the imagination of many hiking fanatics as well as Area 51 theorists due to its alleged location near the military base. However, contrary to these beliefs, Area 51 is located quite far away from the cave. Some people have speculated that the cave was a highly classified hidden Area 51 entrance to a DUMB, or Deep Underground Military Base, which may account for Kenny's sense of dread upon entering and the vibration he claimed he felt. When Kenny's fate later took a turn for the worst, these theories would gain even more traction. While some people online were impressed by Kenny's tall tales and his larger-than-life persona, others thought his claims were far-fetched or exaggerated, and they demanded hard proof to back up his story. Commenters began to provoke Kenny into undertaking another hike to the M Cave. After a lot of online goading, Kenny made an announcement in a comment writing, "I'm going back. I have a very nice video camera. I will film what I saw. Can't say that it'll be interesting. Maybe it's just a strange-looking cave that has a mountain lion living in it. I'll have my 9mm with me this time just in case. It's a 10-hour hike, no trails, very dangerous terrain. I hope it turns out to be something crazy. That would be so cool." Kenny may have gotten his wish after all. Kenny claimed the M Cave was in the Sheep Mountains, around 40 miles north of Las Vegas and to the south of Area 51. And in October 2014, he embarked on his promised hike to attempt to once again find the M Cave.
Well, here I am on my hike up here in the mountains north of Las Vegas. This is a canyon I just walked up in. Now you can't tell, but my truck is way out there by the mountains at the very, very end of this back.
Now, why would you need to park that far? Honestly. Some things just don't make any sense. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie.
Alley. It's kind of like a big canyon. And I just romp around out here, do some solo hikes, and have some fun. My mission today is to just do a one-day hike. It's about a 10-hour hike. I got to still go over another ridge and then go all the way down a big crevice that's real narrow and gets kind of scary. I'm looking for a cave that I found, and I didn't have a sidearm when I was here before, and something about that cave just spooked me. Out of all the caves I've ever gone in, this one just made my body vibrate. The closer I got to it, the crazier my body felt, and I was like, all right, I'm not going to go in there right now, but I'm coming back someday. On the other side of these mountains, I'll show you in a second, is the bombing range, the Nellis Air Force bombing range. They do a lot of practice stuff out there. And I talked to some people on YouTube, and I told them, hey, I'm coming out here, because they kind of called my hand on it.
This time, Kenny was going to document it for the world.
It's shaped like a big M. It's a big cave that looks just like a gigantic M, and it's about as tall as I am. and kind of narrow, and it's stuck on the side of a mountain. So I hope I can find it again. And if I do, I'm going in there. I'm gonna put on my light and take my gun out and walk in there, see if I find anything. We'll see.
Though he brought everyone along for the adventure, it didn't go exactly as he'd planned.
There's lots of little caves, but they're not the kind of cave I'm looking for. The kind of cave I'm looking for is deep, and it's dark, and it's shaped it's shaped just like the letter M. So lots of little caves and stuff along here, and it's about level with the ground, like in an area like this. So I really got to keep my eyes peeled because I don't want to pass it. Well, I'm still hiking. Looks like it's about 4 or 5 in the afternoon, and I'm getting worn out. But I've got a lot. I don't know. I think I got about 3 more miles to go. Whew, what a hike! It's disappointing I didn't find the cave, but I still like to hike.
When he returned on October 17th, he posted his findings on a YouTube video titled M Cave Hike. In a shocking moment of defeat, Kenny admitted that he was unable to find the M Cave. He wrote, "I searched the whole damned canyon. I could not relocate the cave." The failure of his mission resulted in an uproar of criticism from users who were now even more convinced than ever that he was lying or sensationalizing the existence of the cave. But Kenny was not one to give up at the first sign of adversity. His determination never wavering, he began preparing for yet another hike, one even more ambitious than his last. He explained his plan in a comment. "I'm going again this weekend. I'll be hiking solo for 3 days. I plan on covering about 40 miles. I'll cross the same canyon where I found the cave. If I don't find it again, I will just continue hiking over mountain after mountain to the north of the canyon. The M Cave is the only cave I ever feared going inside. I really want to find it again." This time, he even invited his critics to join him, writing, "I dare any of the people that like to run their mouths on here to join me." No one took him up on his offer.
Everybody, ain't nobody try to die with you. I ain't fucking talking about. Come with me. Hell nah, nigga.
If anyone had joined Kenny on his hike, his fate might have ended very differently. Hearing his plan, one user left an ominous comment warning him not to return to the M Cave. They wrote, "Don't go in. If you do, you won't get out." Unruffled by vague warnings, almost a month after his M Cave video on November 10th, 2014, Kenny told his ex-girlfriend, a figure who would come up again later, that he would be camping solo for 2 days in the mountains north of his house. He parked his car in the Jomay Canyon and set off, this time without a video camera to slow him down. He descended into the canyon, just another hike he had done thousands of times before. We spoke to Susan Veach, Kenny's ex-sister-in-law, who had previously been married to Kenny's brother, in an EWU exclusive interview. She shared what happened next. Keep in mind that much of what the interview reveals has not been verified, and that the statements made by Susan Veach only reflect her opinion.
Well, Kenny's birthday is November 20th, and I had gone on Facebook the day before, the 19th, and wished him happy birthday. And I usually, within a day or so, he messaged me back or, replies something, and I didn't hear anything. So I thought, well, that's really weird. So I went on his Facebook page, and there was messages on there from his friends, not his family, his friends, saying he was missing. And I was like, what? What do you mean he's missing? So I messaged one of his friends, and she said, yeah, he went out in the desert and nobody's seen him. He's never come back. And I'm like, oh my God.
Kenny was reported missing on November 17th by his ex-girlfriend, Sharon Pilgrim. Sharon told police that she last saw Kenny at 10 p.m. at a movie theater on the 9th. He texted her a final time at 6 a.m. the next day to say that he was heading out for his hike. However, though he was reported missing on the 17th, it appears that his family was not immediately notified, as they were posting well wishes for Kenny's birthday on the 20th.
And I'll be honest with you, the thoughts going through my mind were, oh my God, did he get hurt? I mean, because he plays with rattlesnakes. I mean, come on, he plays with rattlesnakes. Did he get hurt? Did he, was he being reckless? Did he get hurt? And he lay there in the desert, and he ran out of food and water and he died. I didn't want to think that, but that's basically what it came down to is, where is he?
In a video posted on YouTube years later by his ex-girlfriend, Kenny is seen wrangling a live rattlesnake.
There he is. Well, how long do you say he is? Like about 3 feet long. There's the rattle. Oh yeah.
Very beautiful.
Very beautiful.
He wasn't aggressive, didn't strike at me once. He, very pretty.
Search and rescue volunteers gathered on the 22nd, about 5 days after Kenny was reported missing, and 12 days after he left for his hike. Over 30 Red Rock volunteer searchers combed the mountains that weekend. They found his truck just a few hours after the search began. Then they found their biggest and most confounding clue. Kenny's cell phone was discovered on the first day right next to the mine shaft seen in his MK video.
This is an old mine, and there's a hole here that just goes way down.
The mine is only a 4-hour hike from where Kenny parked his truck.
This is kind of iffy. I'm going to step on this thing. It's very
hours
old,
is
but
crazy.
I'll just show you down inside that hole. It goes way, way, way down in there. Let me see if I can... that's pretty far. That goes way down in there. If you fell, that'd be it. You'd be a goner.
And still, it's unclear whether Kenny accidentally dropped his phone or if he had deliberately ditched it. Following Kenny's disappearance, Susan Veach reached out to Kenny's daughter, Vicky.
So we're talking now, it's around the 23rd when I found out, November 23rd or 24th. And she said he went hiking and all they found was his cell phone by an abandoned mine. And I'm like, what? As soon as I heard that, I said, oh my God, that's staged. That is so staged. And the reason why I say this, I'm not trying to sound morbid, but here in Nevada,
I ain't gonna lie, she could be up to some shit. I ain't gonna lie. She could be cooking.
Give your family 24-hour longer-lasting protection with Protex.
people talk and they say, well, if I ever decide to kill somebody, I'll just throw them down an abandoned mine. No one will ever find their body. And so as soon as I heard that, I go, wait a minute, his phone's by an abandoned mine, but I mean, if he had fallen in an abandoned mine, it would have been in his pocket or in his hand. Not, you don't lay a phone down like, oh, I'm gonna fall, I'm gonna lay my phone down. So as soon as I heard that, I just like, this just sounds so staged. But that's not the Kenny I know. I did not want to believe that. That is not the Kenny I know to do something like that.
His cell phone would be one of the only discoveries indicating Kenny's last verified whereabouts, as the trail would go cold soon after. However, years later, there would be an alleged sighting of Kenny that would spark an entirely new theory about what happened to him. Susan claims that she spoke to the commander of search and rescue.
And he said that they did an extensive search and that basically the tracks stopped at the mine. He said they called their men back in because there was nowhere to go at this point.
The exact timing of when Kenny was reported missing became a contentious issue.
He sent me the police report, and that was the start, because the police report clearly states that she did not report Kenny missing until November 17th at 4:52 p.m., which means the night of, we're going on 8 days at this point because he left on the 10th. So I reached out to search and rescue, and I got the commander, and I said, can I ask you when they started the search? And he said, November 22nd. Well, that's 12 days. A human can only survive without water for 3 days. Even as industrial as Kenny is, he bragged about how little food and water he takes with him. Why would anybody wait 12 days to go look for somebody who maybe has one bottle of water with him? I mean, it blew my mind.
Immediately, numerous theories emerged attempting to explain this sudden disappearance. One suggested that Kenny had stumbled upon a secret tunnel system at Area 51 and was subsequently silenced by the government. While this may sound outlandish, it seems that Kenny himself had been involved in online discussions about Area 51 and extraterrestrial life. He often interacted with an online community called Serious Disclosure, a group studying extraterrestrial life, and his viral comment about the M Cave had been on video titled son of an Area 51 technician. Other, more realistic hypotheses about his fate reason that he probably succumbed to the elements or fell down one of the many mine shafts in the region. A growing minority of others suspected foul play.
So my thought was, well, he went out to the mine, he laid his phone down, because I've had theories of people saying, oh, aliens took him, or he was abducted by the military. So are you going to tell me that the military would go out to the middle of the desert and find him at the only landmark that's out there? I mean, that mine is there, and it's a landmark. And that's where his phone is. That phone was meant to be found. Because if Kenny did not want it to be found, he would have just tossed it out in the middle of the desert and went on his merry way. But that's not happened. That phone was meant to be found there. And it was meant to give the impression that he fell down that abandoned mine, which search and rescue dropped a camera down there, and there was nothing down there. Hikers have gone down there since. There's nothing down there.
Some of the most prominent theories about what happened to Kenny included his own seemingly cavalier attitude. One Reddit user notes that while the Kenny Veach narrative is compelling, the real outcome is likely very common sense. If you do some background into Kenny, he really tempted fate all the time. He was reckless. He was previously injured on a hike and had to be evacuated by personnel from a remote area. On his last video, the second attempt to find M Cave, he actually stumbles at one point and almost face plants.
So, ow. I tripped. Okay, off again.
He pushed himself to go on long desert walks with little food or water. This is incredibly stupid. The desert is a constant, and that it will kill you if the right ingredients are in place. A YouTube comment describes just how plausible it is that Kenny took a fateful wrong step. As a retired archaeologist who has worked in the Mojave Desert for nearly 30 years, I recorded a number of mining sites and features. The mining shafts and adits and some prospect pits are extremely dangerous to record, and a number of people, including hikers and dirt bikers, have fallen into them. With limited evidence to go off, internet sleuths may have lost interest in Kenny Veach's odd disappearance if it wasn't for a striking new development. Out of nowhere, a shocking comment appeared on a YouTube thread that would add a new layer to this mystery. The comment came from Sharon Pilgrim, who claimed to be Kenny's girlfriend. While her identity was initially doubted, it soon became clear that she was telling the truth. I am the girlfriend that Kenny spoke on in the video. So many are wondering what happened and guessing different things. You are heartfelt about the sadness around what has happened with Kenny. He has not been found, and I feel that he probably will not be found for many, many months, if ever. I want to share what I know and feel about what happened. Sharon wrote about how she and Kenny used to go on daring hikes, but she advised other hikers to bring enough supplies if they wanted to continue to search for Kenny or the M Cave. Then she dropped a bombshell about Kenny's disappearance. Sharon believed that Kenny had never planned on returning at all. I want you to know that I do not think Kenny had an accident. I believe he committed. He battled depression for many years and would not take medication or see a doctor. He quit his...
That's crazy. So why you gotta hoax everybody and be like, yo, I'm gonna go find this, so he goes down like the greatest man of all time, man. Hey, bro, that's crazy. Damn.
job a little more than a year before he disappeared. The search for him was started within a couple days of my call. Over 30 search and rescue team members searched the area at different times on foot. One helicopter flyover was done, and there was no trace of Kenny or any of his camping things. They did find his cell phone by the mine shaft in the video. It is my feeling he left it behind so that he could not be tracked from the GPS in it. He also did not take his video camera with him on this solo hike. It was left in his home, so he had no intention of filming anything.
Yeah,
Susan had a few more interesting revelations.
That makes a lot of sense.
As a matter of fact, the cell phone that they found at the mine, they never turned it into an IT guy to investigate. And that's another thing I have a problem with. When Kenny went missing and Sharon reported him missing, they went to Kenny's house and they found the computer screen that says, help me, all over it. Why did they not take his camera, any tech devices that he had, and take them down and analyze them. I mean, were there searches on there? None of that was done. Why? Somebody dropped the ball. They could have taken his camera, they could have taken his laptop, but they didn't.
While Susan is referring to the fact that authorities found "Help Me" on Kenny's computer, we haven't been able to confirm if this was written on a document or the result of an online search. In her initial police report informing authorities that Kenny had gone missing, Sharon stated that Kenny had told her 3 weeks earlier that he had thoughts about taking his own life and said that he would do it in the mountains where nobody could find him. Sharon said that since Kenny made that comment to her, that she asked him to contact her every 5 days or she would call the police for a welfare check. In a text provided by Susan, Sharon further elaborates on a conversation she had with Kenny, saying that, quote, he was surprised that I did not have my own personal thinking going on in my head about thoughts were such a normal personal internal conversation going on in his head. Susan also provided a text message where Sharon claimed that Kenny was supposed to text her on the 4th day after his hike when he came down the mountain. She states that, when I did not get a text, I am the one that called missing persons. The searches started because of my call. However, it is important to note that Kenny was not reported missing until 7 days after he had gone for his hike.
That's the thing.
According
though.
to Susan, Kenny told family members something of a similar nature to the thing Sharon was claiming.
He also told his brother Michael that if he decided to disappear, nobody would find him.
However, Susan doesn't agree with this assumption.
Kenny was the cheerleader. And I could even show you on his Facebook page where people were stressed out, and he would say, you know what, it's just a momentary thing. Things are going to get better. I'm here for you. That was Kenny. When his dad died, we talked about quite a bit. That was against everything Kenny believed in. We had many discussions about his dad's death.
Internet sleuths dug deeper into Kenny's life to try and better understand his motive. What they soon discovered was that Kenny's life had hit a major rocky patch recently. According to Sharon, and evidenced by his own YouTube content, Kenny had quit his job of 20 years and cashed out on his retirement at the age of 47 to become an inventor. He posted videos to his YouTube channel in which he demonstrated the ingenuity of his prototypes.
Hello everyone at Quirky. My name is Kenny Veach, and I invented the new improved toilet paper roll holder for the household. It works great, and it's my own little invention, and I'm going to show you how it works. First, I'm just going to demonstrate it. When it's perfected and manufactured with more precision tools, it will go right inside the hole, and it locks and holds in there, and there's a lot of ways to improve this, but my mechanism is inside here. Keeps it from coming all the way out, and it keeps it on track, so works perfect. The new improved toilet paper roll holder.
Oh my God, this is so crazy to watch, bro.
This is a good one, guys. Hello, my name is Kenny Veach, and I am the inventor of the Glolar Bear, as in glow-in-the-dark polar bear.
Kenny even filmed a video application to the TV reality show Shark Tank in hopes of making a name for himself.
Hello, people of Shark Tank. My name is Kenny Veach, and get ready because I'm going to show you a few things about myself, and I'm going to let you know just what I do, what I am, and how much I enjoy life, and how I go about doing that. I am an artist, I am an adventurer, and I am an inventor, and I take all those 3 talents, and I combine them, and I just create.
Despite his infectious enthusiasm and creativity, his ideas had proven to be commercial failures.
Amanda?
Amanda's not available.
Amanda!
Bro.
And he never earned a dime from them. Kenny was in such dire financial straits that he even resorted to selling his house and made a YouTube video about the endeavor titled, "Handsome Cowboy Sells Himself with His Home."
I'm putting this house up for sale along with me. I'm offering myself along with the house. And think about being the owner of this house and having a caretaker like me, an all-around good guy, hard-working, creative inventor.
Kenny apparently wanted to sell the home, but still reside on the property as a live-in caretaker.
My whole life I've worked for corporations and companies, and I've reached a point in my life where I want to do it my way. I want to live my life the way I see fit and not make money for other people. I can still make money for people, but my way, and make money the way I want to make money. And one of those ways is to create beautiful homes just like this and sell them. Now, whether that's going to happen or not, I don't know for sure. How I got this home, I worked a lot of hard jobs all my life, and I saved and saved and saved. And about
Bro, I feel so bad watching this shit though.
7 or 8 years ago, I had enough money in the bank that I wanted to purchase a home.
Because of this, there have been many theories that Kenny chose to take his own life in the desert because he was owing payments on his house. However, Susan Veach has another theory.
People have said, oh, well, he owed money on his house. He was going, no. I contacted the Clark County Recorder's Office just a couple of weeks ago, actually, and I asked him, was there any liens against his property? He said no, up until December of 2015. And Kenny left in 2014. He loved that house. He invested every penny in, to fix it up the way he wanted. He would not just walk away from it unless he thought somewhere along the way he can come back to it, or he had a bigger pot at the end of the rainbow. He would not just walk away and just throw his hands up and I'm done. And there was no lien against it. He didn't owe any, he was just have his house payment. And I contacted a friend of his best friend's wife, and she told me that a week.
We are hoping he can retire in 2 years, okay? Okay. Jesus fucking Christ.
Before he left, that Kenny had turned in his resume for her husband's company. They install solar fields. So Kenny had a job lined up. There was no reason for him to walk away from his life.
There was more to this theory as well, which would eventually be revealed along with the shocking alleged sighting of Kenny years later. On a Reddit thread, one user also expressed their doubts that Kenny had taken his own life, and instead implied something far more sinister had happened. I doubt Kenny took his own life. It makes no sense. Nobody is as happy as they show, but I doubt he was that depressed and would do the same to his family since he had a bad memory of how his father died. I doubt that he left the keys and cell phone near the mine intentionally. Those are items we put in our pockets and easily fall, especially when there's a fight or were planted there to divert attention from the real grave. While the internet was sharing various theories, some of Kenny's family members began commenting. A user claiming to be Kenny's nephew David wrote, "My uncle Kenny Veach was one of the best people to be around. Practically everything in his house he found, made, worked his ass off for. He disappeared doing what he loved." Among those writing about Kenny was Sharon. After her initial comment following Kenny's disappearance, Sharon uploaded a few clips of her own onto her own YouTube channel. One of her videos is a montage commemorating her time spent with Kenny over the years.
You got your rattlesnake again.
Rattlesnake.
That's
That's
your
the
second.
snake.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this is,
What was
the
the
first
first
one wasn't poisonous.
What was the first one? Do you think it was? What kind?
It was a racer of some sort, very beautiful.
So he's got 12 rattles, and he's about 3 feet long, and a big head.
Yep.
As for the M Cave, it also became a thing of legend. The Red Rock Search and Rescue even mentioned the cave as part of their search efforts, as well as other areas Kenny hiked. However, they never discovered the cave's location. In the years following Kenny's disappearance, dozens of copycat hikers set out either to search for clues about what happened to him or to continue Kenny's mission to find the elusive and mythical M Cave.
It's shaped like a big M. It's a big cave that looks just like a gigantic M, and it's about as tall as I am and kind of narrow, and it's stuck on the side of a mountain.
So far, despite many claims, no one has found the exact cave that Kenny described. Though amateur investigators' devotion to the cause hasn't stalled, their experiences have only added to the pile of rampant speculation. More questions have been posed than any answers have ever been found. Once again, Susan Veach has an entirely different theory regarding the cave.
Okay, this is where I have a problem with the M Cave.
She got theories for everything. I ain't gonna lie.
Okay. According to Kenny, he was hiking and he went into this cave and he got this vibration, this resonance, and it scared him so bad that his words, hightailed it out of there, and he was going to go get a gun. Well, first of all, I know Kenny, and Sharon herself will tell you that Kenny takes his camera everywhere with him. Nowhere is there a picture of the M cave or a video of the M cave. Now, okay, I understand he was scared, but there are hikers who have been stopped by mountain lions, and they have the forethought to pull out their cell phone and record it, because if they come up missing and all they find is some bloody clothes, they can look at their phone and say, "Oh my gosh, he was attacked by a mountain lion." This rock formation was not following Kenny. There's no reason why he couldn't take a picture of it.
The rock formation was not.
Yeah, I don't know if I'll be freaked out like I was last time. Who knows? There might have been a mountain lion in there, and it was just my sixth sense talking to me. So, I'll catch you later. Talk to you in a minute. Bye.
So he gave vague descriptions. Oh, well, I hike here and I 9,000 here and I did 40 miles here. And he didn't want anybody to find it because it's not there. I think he did it for attention. I'll be honest with you, I don't think even now he has any idea what kind of massive amount of people are searching for him. The amount of people that are putting YouTube videos, I don't think he even expected that.
While most of the new findings regarding this case are sensational at best, one new piece of evidence is by far the most compelling. It supports the possibility, perhaps the craziest possibility of all, that Kenny was still alive and had faked his own death.
That's what I was thinking the whole time.
July 15th, 2018, a Las Vegas spiritual healing center called the Enchanted Forest Reiki Center was broken into. In black and white footage, a male is seen entering the store, walking quickly to go behind the counter and grabbing an iPad. It almost looks as if the intruder knew exactly where to find it. Many who watched the footage claim to see a resemblance between the intruder and Kenny. Susan Beach weighed in on this development.
So I'm sitting in bed and I'm watching this, and all of a sudden the guy comes to the window, and I mean instantly, I was like, oh my God, that's Kenny. My heart fell out of my chest. I swear I broke out in a sweat.
This break-in would probably have gone under the radar if the store hadn't been owned by Debbie Veach, Kenny's sister.
You see him grab
So he already knew what the fuck was happening. Damn.
his leg, and Kenny had hurt his knee and on the mountain and had to be rescued by helicopter. And Kenny had a bad knee, and the guy does reach for his leg.
But why would Kenny fake his own death and vanish? One theory that has been put forth online, and one that Susan supports, is that he had some sort of life insurance policy.
I can't think of any other reason why he would disappear.
I decided about a year ago that I was going to kind of strike out on my own and go live the life I wanted to live and do the things I wanted to do. My life's kind of an open book. It's just waiting for me to write the pages.
Even his sister, when I called her, she said, my family and life insurance.
While it hasn't been confirmed if Kenny had another life insurance policy, Susan had one more theory. She claims that Kenny's father took his own life, so his death in 1994 was never reported to Social Insurance, and his retirement benefits with the place where he'd worked had no record of his death until 2022. Because of this, Susan suspects there's a chance that if Kenny is still alive, that he may have been living under his father's name.
I've known Kenny since he was 18. Absolutely it's Kenny. There is no doubt in my mind. But for people to say, oh, I was emotional or delusional, no. And let me tell you, nobody I know wants that to be Kenny. Nobody. It would be so much easier to think that he was doing what he loved, he got hurt, and he died. I know that sounds awful, but it's easier to think that than to think that he deliberately did this and he's put his family and his daughter through we're going on what, 9 years now, 10 years
Damn.
of torment. That's cruel. I mean, it's easier to think he's dead. They've all backpedaled because nobody wants to go to the cops and say that's him. He told them he was going to disappear. He must have had a plan. They don't want him to go to jail. They don't want him to go to prison. I mean, it's not the Kenny that we know. The Kenny we know would not do that, but that doesn't change the fact that it is him. It's him in the CCTV footage.
However, this intriguing CCTV footage has never been officially named as showing Kenny. Still, Susan shared more about what she believes happened with the investigation into the break-in and the theft of the iPad.
When I contacted the secret witness, I asked him, well, did anybody turn in the other footage from the other cameras? No. What about fingerprints? No. The detective said that because they told him it was a high traffic area, that there would be too many fingerprints. And I'm like, but how many customers do you have go behind the counter and, reach around the modem? I mean, and how many customers are probably hanging onto the windowsill to pull himself out? Why did they not just for fingerprints?
As far as Kenny's house is concerned, Susan had some interesting information that lends to the idea that perhaps there was something more going on with Kenny's disappearance.
His house mortgage, a lien was never put on that until the end of 2017. They did not start foreclosure process until November, or I think it was November or December of 2017. I just find it hard to believe that a nice house like Kenny had, that they would let it sit for 3 years with no payment before they start foreclosure. Somebody was making his payments on his house. They had to be. There's no logical explanation for why that house did not foreclose sooner.
Given that Susan believes that Kenny may still be alive, we asked her what she would say to him if he was watching.
Kenny, I love you, but I swear I'd thump you on the head if I could find you right now. You got yourself in quite a pickle. You really did. I don't think you yourself had any idea the scope of what your disappearance has done. I mean, I don't think you even knew. But you know what? You can always come home. You can always come home.
We asked Susan about the current official status of Kenny's case.
So I reached out to the detective in missing persons, and he said, due to budget restraints, they are no longer searching for Kenny. Here's where I have a problem. From November 10th of November 22nd of 2014 until November 21st of 2021, they were searching for him, and now they're not. What changed? The local news did a program on our search and rescue, talking about how they are actively pursuing cold cases, and Kenny's was mentioned. That was 2019, but now they're not. Now they're no longer searching.
Despite these many intriguing theories and new developments, this bizarre case remains unsolved, even to this very day, a decade later.
What have they found? In 9 years, nothing. They have found nothing. Not even a shoe. Not a backpack, not a shoe, nothing. They have found nothing.
However, many still hold out hope that one day the truth of what happened to Kenny Veach will finally be revealed.
I ain't gonna lie to y'all, chat. Here's what I think happened. I'm gonna go with, since y'all going on theories, I'm gonna go with the theory that he's still alive, gang. Yep, I said it, he's still alive.